So I have made my decision as to which ISA provider I want my 2024 to 2025 stocks and shares ISA to be, and it is again with Trading 212. Now I know this year the ISA rules are different and you can have more than one provider. However, I have decided to go all in on Trading 212 and transfer the full £20,000 allowance straight into the ISA. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing exactly why I went with Trading 212, why I didn't go for a mix of my favorite brokers, and what decisions were at play to help you maybe come up with what ISA provider is right for you. Now, I have talked about Trading 212 in a very good light for a very long time, even though I've never taken any sponsorship money, and I don't intend to be sponsored by them anytime soon. This is because I genuinely feel like it is one of the best platforms in the UK for beginner investors to intermediate investors. So if you would like to sign up to Trading 212, use the link in the description down below and you will get a free share when you sign up and top up your account with just £1. Alternatively, I even have a promo code if you've signed up recently and haven't got a free share. You can do that with my code JUBAIR. Now let's talk about why I've actually decided again for the second consecutive year why I want to deposit £20,000 into my Trading 212 ISA. Now realistically, there were only ever 3 providers that I would have considered for a stocks and shares ISA, that being Trading 212, InvestEngine, and Vanguard. Now, the reason why it's quite easy to eliminate Vanguard at this point in time is of course because I don't have millions in my investment account, and Vanguard does unfortunately have that platform fee, and I think it makes sense to go with Vanguard if you want something long-term, low effort. However, it makes more sense if you have a lot more money, as they are more secure theoretically anyway because they're a larger company, and when you have large amounts, the service fee actually gets capped, so it's not too bad there. So then it was only a decision between Trading 212 and InvestEngine. Now if you don't already know, I have transferred 2 years worth of ISAs from Freetrade to my InvestEngine platform, and that currently sits around £60,000 in value, which is getting quite close to the FSCS limit of around £85,000 per account. For that reason, it's quite easy that I'm not actually going to deposit any more into my InvestEngine account. I'm just going to let it compound over time, and I'm very happy to just let that happen and not actually worry about depositing any more into my ISA. Although I do think InvestEngine is a great platform, very easy to use, pretty much you can automate everything, and the fees are on par if not cheaper than Trading 212. However, my biggest letdown with InvestEngine is just how long it takes to actually execute orders. If you buy a money market fund, for example, and you want to kind of buy another fund, you have to sell the money market fund, which takes at least 1 business day, and then by the time you try to buy your other fund, you don't know what price you're going to get that at. So InvestEngine I do recommend for longer term investing, and it's really great for that. However, it was just down to Trading 212 in my opinion, and I'm going to go through all the reasons why I have decided to go with Trading 212. So of course, the first reason why Trading 212 is so great in my opinion as a stockbroker is of course, it's very, very simple to use. As you can see all your holdings at one point. It's quite easy to see, you know, the value of your portfolios. They also offer a huge library of stocks and shares, and compared to something like Vanguard or InvestEngine, they actually offer individual stocks if you're really into that. So it's not just ETFs or mutual funds as it is with those other companies. They also have zero commission on any of these stocks. You're paying a foreign exchange fee, however, of 0.15%, which is the cheapest in the UK until just a few weeks ago, where Robinhood actually opened up and they offer 0% FX fee, although there is a 0.03% third-party fee to take into consideration. In either case, it's one of the cheapest platforms in the UK to actually invest in foreign stocks, such as American stocks. Furthermore, they do now have multi-currency support, something I don't actually use a lot, but of course, if you had your money in Great British pounds and you want to transfer that to United States dollars, for example, because you're trading a lot of American companies, when you convert it once, you pay the 0.15% fee, and then it keeps your money in dollars, which is really good. So you're not really going to have to actually pay that 0.15% again, just keep it in United States dollars and be done away with that foreign exchange fee. Of course, if you're investing a lot in the US and you receive a lot of dividends, there is a dividend withholding tax that you cannot escape if you are in the UK. So I guess it's the same for every broker. On top of that, one of the greatest features of Trading 212 that beats any any other broker that I've seen is the fact that they do pay interest on uninvested cash. And if I go into my uninvested cash here, I have a lot. I have £26,000. This is because it's ready to be transferred directly into my ISA. And of course, I'm filming this a few days before the tax year starts, but by the time this video comes out, the tax year would have started. And I'm going to make a follow-up video of how I max out my ISA straight away if you're interested in that. But in either case, if I go into my free funds here, you can see that there is a button called interest here. If I press that, Trading212 pays the highest amount of interest on uninvested cash of any broker that I've found. Robinhood has just come out and that gives 5%. However, Robinhood doesn't have any UK ETFs or any UK stocks, and it doesn't even offer a stocks and shares ISA, so it's not even a contender worth mentioning about. So 5.2% as an annual equivalent rate given on my uninvested cash is incredibly helpful for me if I place any trades and I have stuff in cash. It's nice to see that I'm getting a little of that money in cash. You can see that the interest is actually paid out daily, so I'm receiving around £3.60 every single day like clockwork. At around 10 PM you can see all the payments here. That's only if I keep my money as cash. It is worth noting, however, that this money is put into qualifying money market funds, so there is a level of risk to this uninvested cash. You can always opt out of this, of course, so you can reduce your risks if you are so inclined. In addition to earning interest on cash, you can also earn interest on lending out your shares. For example, I don't have a lot of individual stocks. 2 of them are being lent out, that is namely BMW and Delivery Hero, and you can get a tiny bit of interest for just owning your shares. When they lend it out, it still belongs to you, and if something happens, they'll give you the full value of your share back plus a bit more in collateral. In either case, this is not really something I use, but if you invest in a lot of individual stocks, this could be a little extra bit of bonus. Another thing that I would mention about Trading212 is that the community is incredibly good and helpful. They're very nice. So the people high up in Trading212 have actually contacted me directly, and I feel very welcome to be part of their broker. And you might be saying inside, of course they're going to care. I'm making lots of videos about them. They're going to be nice to me. However, that's not the case with other brokers. I've had meetings with loads of different brokers. Of course, I've never taken sponsorship money. The other brokers, I'm not going to name them, but I felt very unwelcome in their presence. They didn't really care about me. Trading212 makes me feel really, really liked. That is, of course, definitely a bonus as someone who makes content and someone who, you know, can gain money from affiliates, people signing up. Trading212 makes me feel very, very welcome, and it just gives me an incentive to actually continue talking about the brand because I know both their customers and their brand representatives are very happy. Pretty much no one talks bad about Trading212, and I think that shows as a testament to, you know, how well the company has done in the UK, at least in terms of brand awareness, customer satisfaction, and things like that. They also have a chat, but I cannot speak directly about, you know, their customer helpline because I've never really needed any sort of help like that. But I'm sure it is pretty good from things that I've heard from people. But again, directly from experience, I can't speak to that. Another part of Trading212, which personally I probably won't be using, is their upcoming card. So they are actually coming up with a debit card that has no monthly fees, that gives you 5.2% at the time of filming anyway, interest on your pounds that you keep with them. There's 0.5% cash back on spending. The FX fee is only 0.15%, and it supports 13 major currencies. Something as a bonus if you are into the whole Trading212 ecosystem. This could help you, you know, with spending and investing. So it's a good feature to have, but personally I won't be using it. Just because I don't use it doesn't mean that someone else won't find it useful. So another big feature of Trading212 is their community feature. So they have a whole community section. Now when you go into it, you can see there are a lot of posts, something akin to maybe Facebook. I don't really use Facebook, so I'm guessing it's something like that. I don't even use Reddit, but I think it's something like Facebook or Reddit where, you know, you can post on a wall and people can reply to you. You can get lots of good information, although definitely not financial advice, any of this. Don't take it as financial advice. But I know, for example, some of my friends are even on here, for example, the Dividend Experiment, and they post here very regularly. They can somewhat nod you in the right direction if you're completely going off. But all in all, it's a very useful feature if you're new to investing, although please don't take any stock advice from anyone on here. It pretty much is never going to work out for you if you just rely on that. So let's actually go in and show you the Trading212 ISA. So here is my Trading212 ISA, and for the last tax year I deposited deposited £20,000. Like I said, I'm filming this just before the tax year opens. You can see 100% ISA utilization, that's the 2023 limit. So I deposited £20,000 and currently I have a profit of around £3,300, which I'm really happy about. That's over 10% and I aim to get at least 10% a year. Again, not really anything to do with trading 212, although I do kind of tend to trade ETFs quite often, and that's not something I can get with these other platforms that I mentioned. So I'm really happy that, you know, I'm able to have that extra control over my money and buy and sell immediately at market open. You can see I do have all my money invested into one share. Currently it's not up or down either way. You can also see the growth of my portfolios. You can see at one point my portfolio value was less than £19,000, but right now it's £23,000. So yeah, there were some dips in the market and then the market did actually pick up. You can see all that information here. What I'm going to do as soon as the tax year opens is of course use this feature here called manage funds. If I go into it, I will be able to, of course not right now, move funds between my Trading 212 Invest account and my ISA, and I'm going to deposit £20,000 as soon as the new ISA window opens, and I'm going to document that if you're interested. One of the biggest attractants to using a Trading 212 ISA is of course that they provide the ISA with no monthly charge, no upfront fees, no fees at all. So a completely free ISA. That being said, Vanguard does provide a free ISA, so does InvestEngine. So you know, the playing field is even in terms of that. But ultimately the reason why I chose this to be my ISA was of course I only have £20,000 here. If I deposit another £20,000, I'm still far away from my £85,000. Secondly, a very big thing for me is the fact that I am able to kind of trade my ETFs. I can do this very easily with that. I can place buy and sell limits, which I absolutely love and use a lot. If you go into my history, you can see just how many times I've used it. You can also see that I have a realized profit and loss of £2,634 and I received nice chunky dividends of £600 over the past tax year. I would really love to know what broker you've chosen for your 2024 tax year ISA. Of course, there's always the option to actually try out as many ISAs as you want, because this year there is no limit to how many you can open, as long as you are aware that the £20,000 deposit limit does apply to all your ISAs. So as long as you share that out, you should be fine in using whichever broker or whichever number of brokers you want. So make sure to check out some of my other videos, especially regarding ISAs. I have tons of videos on that, and I'll see you in the next video.